Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Slimming Surgeon podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Candice Kickler. We are back with episode 2, or the second in a series, with my best friend, fitness trainer, entrepreneur, fitness model, extraordinaire, Olivia Figueroa. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Dr. Queen.
Okay, so our last episode, I feel like we really dove into eating and nutrition. And I feel like we covered a
We
lot of the
did.
bases.
Yeah, we
So,
did. I'm happy about it.
yeah, I mean, that's what we live by. And I think people could take away a lot of tips from that. So, if you're listening to this episode and haven't listened to the prior, go back because after we talk today all about fitness and training, I think you're going to want to incorporate some of our tips that we had related to wellness, nutrition, eating, snacking, alcohol, the big things. So, Olivia, tell me how your fitness philosophy and or what you're doing as a trainer has kind of changed over the last year.
Okay, so let's see. Well, I've been living in New York City for 2.5 years now, which is crazy. And I've got so much going on right now. To be honest, I'm juggling a lot, and it's a lot of fun. I'm loving it, enjoying it. But it definitely has changed a bit, and I've gotten busier, and I'm doing a lot more social media, and I've got my exclusive content that I spend time on, and I upload a lot of content there. And
Tell
I
us
also teach
about
at a
that. So
studio.
they need to subscribe, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Subscribe to my exclusive feed on Instagram, and it's 9.99 for now. I haven't raised the price just yet. But I upload like my day to day. It's kind of like the close friends a little
Yes.
bit of my
Yes.
Instagram. You feel like you get me on a little bit more of a personal level, and it's a less curated version of my Instagram feed, right? So it's like I'm in between clients and I'm on the train, and I can post something about my breakfast in the morning that I want my subscribers to see. And that's more like in depth and maybe why I chose what I chose to eat this morning, or like I'll do full day of eating. So I'll do like what I eat in a day, and I upload those like very regularly. And people find it very helpful to see like actual meals versus just like a pretty picture of food, right? Because it's not always like picture perfect because I do it in the moment. I do Q&As. It's just more of like you get to engage with me more on like a, I don't know, personal level. So it's really cool that way. So I've been growing quite the little community on there, and it's really neat. And I think it's um great. It's a great support system if you're looking to tone, if you're looking to lose weight, if you just want to feel like you have an outlet and be around other people who are like-minded and who are on the
No
same journey as
judgment.
you. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I
So it's
love,
great.
I love, because I'm obviously a subscriber. I love that it kind of like goes to the top of my feed. You know, like when you subscribe to someone, their content kind of goes to the front. So if I'm, logging into Instagram and I see stories, like yours is at the front and it's reminding me, oh, yeah, I need to eat healthy today. Like, oh,
Totally.
here's a quick workout. Like I love when you post your workouts and they're like linked right there so you can click on it and view it. That's amazing. So I love subscribing. But what are you doing with clients these days? Like, are you doing a lot of group fitness? Are you doing one-on-ones? Like, how are you honing in on that part of your career?
So I have a studio where I teach in New York. It's called Fuse House, and it's a heated studio. It's excellent. It's I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now. That's my schedule. And it's hot Pilates, hot bar, and hot sculpt. So it's more of like if you took my classes in Palm Beach when I would teach my sculpt and my bar classes, it's very similar. So it's even though it's a different studio, it's not my own studio, it's my method. So you come to my class and you're getting absolutely 100% my method, which I love. I'm free to like teach what I want to teach, and people come to me for that. Um, so that's been amazing. And I've been meeting so many great people that way, to be honest. Before the studio, I kind of was just doing social media and my one-on-one clients, which I still have, but I felt sometimes like I was like a little isolated, like I was working with my clients and I wasn't really meeting a lot of people and I wasn't getting that brand exposure that I wanted. So
Yeah.
this is such a great way for me to tap into a different market and my like 9 to 5 girls or my girls who work from home who don't want to pay for a personal trainer, but they want a really good workout class because not all workout classes that you go to in the city are good. In fact, a lot of them are the opposite. So it's just like a great, it's a great like kind of addition to what my clients are already doing. So I have a lot of privates who either visit the city or live in the city and they come and take my class as like um a little supplement to their routine. But as far as personal training clients goes, I still have some people who I've been training for years and they're absolutely slaying and crushing it. And I'm so
And
proud of
they
them.
are
And
shredded in the
yeah,
best way, as shredded as they want to be, because not everybody wants to be shredded per se.
and that's okay.
That's okay, but they are
Yeah.
so healthy. Like you have, I know of one specifically who you've helped lose what, like 50 or 70 pounds or something
Yeah.
without Ozempic. And she just looks so healthy, like so strong and just vibrant. I love that.
Absolutely. And it's just, it's so rewarding to have these clients who have been with me and who've stuck with me for several years and they've trusted in me and my method and to see them doing so well and see how strong they are and like how they continue throughout their lives. And even if, we stop training, like I will still speak to them a couple years later. Like I have a couple clients who I don't see anymore. And once in a while we'll chat and they're just still so fit and still doing amazing. And it makes me so happy that um wellness has had that much of an impact on them. But my clients are, for the most part, not even in New York, to be honest. I
Yeah.
have mostly virtual,
Mm-hmm.
which it just kind of started that way when I was living in Florida because I was working with a lot of the golf wives who their husbands
Travel.
were on tour and they're traveling all the time. So it kind of like happened on accident when I was down there. And then I moved to New York. I kept all of them and love all of them. And so now I have people in LA and I have some people who are international and my clients are very serious.
Yeah.
That's one change I will say. I didn't used to have this many like serious clients who are
Dedicated,
like
like in
very
it to win it.
dedicated
Yeah.
in it to win it. And to be honest, it's kind of the only client that I have um now because I don't, I'm only one person and there's only so much I can do in one day. And so the time that I have training and I have specific days and times in my schedule where I'm just training and I have to, make the most out of those days. And I love that I have people who, I mean, I'm giving them 120% of my time and my effort, and they're giving me the same in return. So I think that like that's the way to succeed, and the way that they're going to reach their goals is if I have someone who I'm helping who's 100% in, not just like, you know, I want to work
Yeah.
out kind of, but
Yeah.
then I
But
don't
I'm
see
not going to
someone,
show
for
up for my
example.
session or, I'm going to be late. I get it. I get it.
Well, it's more like, in the past, maybe
Not
I
work
would
as
train
hard,
someone
not push myself. Yeah.
or someone who isn't going to work out between our sessions. And
Yeah.
it's just not where I am. Like I specifically want to work with people who are so focused on wellness and they have, whether it's a red carpet event or, um, I have people who have constantly things all the time and they're in front of cameras and they have to be confident and healthy and energized and look a certain way and be toned all year round.
I
So,
mean, let's just
you
say it. You're
know,
working with celebrities, you're working with models, and you're working with influencers and content creators, like the people who are always on. And it's
yeah,
important that you feel your best mentally, but also physically to be able to constantly put out content. Like, I get it.
absolutely. And, I am going to say this might be a hot take, but I do thoroughly 100% with my whole being believe that you can look amazing all year round and not just for an occasion or for summer, because the way I teach my clients and like my philosophy is all about like a sustainable way of living. And you can be bikini ready all year round and you can still have fun and you can still live a life and you can still like do things, normal things, right? You're not eating boring meals all the time. You can have it all.
Yeah. I mean, I want to get to, so we like asked questions from the audience, from Instagram and other social platforms. And that was one of your questions. Like, how do you get ready, or can you look good year round? I mean, I think you answered it perfectly. It's a lot of consistency and a lot of dedication to your activity routine, but also your eating, obviously. And to also go back to what you were saying about your method, literally yesterday, this is not time stamped, so we're not going to like link it back to who taught the class, but I took a class. I took a bar class, and new gym, new instructor. I'm like very open-minded, excited to have a bar class again because I haven't taken them in years, aside from any of your sculpts and things like that.
Throwback.
When you're here, yeah, throwback, girl, to extend bar days. And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, in Pure Bar,
That's how we met.
Extend Bar. We met at Extend Bar. And I was like, this is awful. Like this person, I mean, this class, it's nothing. Like it was just bouncing from one move to the other. You never focused on your muscle group. There was no fatiguing of anything. It was all over the place as far as the order of the body that we were doing. And it was like, what are we doing here? And then all of a sudden the time has gone by and I'm like, I didn't sweat a drop. Like just not up to par. So I get it when you say, there are classes that are just not worth it. Like I think it's very important for people to really, gauge your level of activity when you take these classes, because you think, oh, I just did a 45-minute bar class, I'm good. But like, no, I could have worked out again yesterday. I didn't have the time, but make sure you're investing your time properly, investing your money and your time into something that's actually going to do something with your fitness level.
100%, because it does make a difference.
Yeah, I was like, damn it, I just wasted 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Time is everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So another question that I want to get to, and I don't know, you may not even be prepared for this, but oh no, this is nutrition. We can't go here. Okay. How to not gain weight while pregnant. Cause I feel like we are in the age of, fertility and people having babies and things like that. How to not gain weight with pregnant. You see so many people after the baby and while they're pregnant, they're still training with you. Like, what are your thoughts about this journey that women go through?
I currently at the moment have 2 pregnant clients as we speak. And both of them, one of them, I was with her before even her first, and this is her second. So, obviously I have not had a child yet. God willing, one day I will. And, don't judge me, people out there who will say, well, you haven't had a child, you don't know, because Candice, I think you're going to back me up on what I'm about to say. But eating for 2 is a scam.
A scam.
Eating for 2 is bullshit. And it's an outdated way of thinking. And it's not factual. And it's going to do more harm than good. And I think that like, it's all a matter of choices. It comes down to the choices that you make, because I have had so many clients who have had amazing pregnancies, and yeah, they were saying no to a donut that was offered them. They were working out all the time. They were concerned about gaining weight when they were pregnant, as they should be, because they didn't have gestational diabetes. They had a better time after the baby getting back in shape. And overall, like nobody needs to be holding on to extra weight whether you're pregnant or you're not. Like it's not going to benefit you in any way. So I get it. Your hormones are growing crazy and people have cravings and I get all of that. But at the end of the day, it's comes down to a choice. You have full control over what you put into your mouth. You don't need to gain all this extra weight. Obviously, you listen to your doctor, but a lot of my clients, their doctors these days, which I'm so happy to hear, their doctors tell them, like, you don't need to gain all this weight. Like, at minimum,
Hmm.
I won't say any numbers, but like,
Yeah.
they're like, that's it. Like, you're good, you're healthy, you're doing
Hmm.
great. Like, keep going at this level.
Yeah.
And like in hindsight, they'll tell me like, I'm so freaking glad I stayed on my clean eating. I was cooking my whole pregnancy. I was moving my body
Yeah.
because pregnancy is hard enough as it is. And like, I feel really confident and I feel really good in my decisions. And they all tell me the same thing. So, I'm taking notes for when it's my time, but I think that it's all a matter of the decisions you make and you being mindful and you just choosing what kind of pregnancy you want to have.
Yeah. And the more weight you put on around the pregnancy, it's not just about the after. It's not about the quote unquote bounce back, although that obviously impacts that as well. But it's about the pregnancy, the impact that this choice is making on the child, because what you're eating, the baby's eating, for example, but also on your actual delivery. So you were right in everything you were saying. Like you're, if you, the problem with today's society is there are many people who start a pregnancy already suffering from some form of obesity. And then,
Right.
It becomes not a crutch, but like an excuse. Okay, well, I know I was already overweight. Now I'm pregnant, so I'm just going to gain whatever weight I happen to gain with no real metric there. And then I'll try to lose it afterwards. But do you know how hard it is to lose weight after a baby, especially when you started overweight? Like it's near impossible. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say it. It's extremely difficult. These people tend to need then medications, surgery, etc. And I think if we all planning to get pregnant or not, focus on our overall health status, we know that being overweight is not healthy. So,
Right.
yeah. Um, that's a very sensitive topic, but it's true. I gained probably 28 pounds with Charlie and around 30, 33 with Cam. And I feel great. I don't have any of that weight left. I mean,
Good for
granted
you.
Cam's too, but um,
No, I watched you the whole time. I
and
admire
I
you,
worked out the whole time. I
obviously.
worked out
Yeah.
until 38 weeks with Charlie and I delivered at 39. And I worked out
Yep.
until probably like 36, 37 with Cam and I delivered him at 38 weeks. So, obviously I modified my exercise. I wasn't doing like CrossFit or something crazy. Like I was, listening to my body, doing slow, dedicated movements, which is a lot about what your method is in general, like focusing on the muscle group that you're working and being mindful of that movement and, not doing too crazy heavyweight. I wasn't trying to like make gains in the gym while I was pregnant, but I was trying to keep my body in shape, build up resistance, like as far as having some more stamina because a pregnancy is crazy. Delivery is really crazy.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
So this is a topic that I think is still relevant because we're like in the winter in most parts of the country, not here in Florida, but how to not get chubby in winter when you live somewhere dreadful. This was a question that was submitted.
Um, yeah, I know I laughed at that. So I think that you need to make an effort, right? Like, look, I've been here for 2.5 years and winter is still very hard. I find it harder to get out of bed in the morning when it's 20 degrees
Yes.
versus if you're somewhere warm and it's 80, you can pop out of bed and you're ready to go. It definitely is no joke being in the cold. However, I will say you just got to do it. Like you got to set yourself up for success, whether that's following certain accounts that motivate you on social media, whether that's going to bed earlier, whether it's spending the money for a gym membership. Look, people DM me all the time now that it's freezing in New York. They're like, I'm not getting as many steps in the city like I usually do
Mm-hmm.
because it's cold. I'm not walking. How do I do this? Like, I don't have access to a gym. Well, you get access to a gym,
Yeah.
right? Like, if that means that you don't go out to eat 2 times in a month and instead you use that money on a gym membership, it doesn't have to be Equinox, doesn't have to be like $400 a month. You can find a gym that's not that expensive, but at the end of the day, like, you spend the money because it's worth it, because it's for your health. And you go and you find somewhere where you like the environment, or maybe you find a studio. I mean, my studio that I teach out in the gym in New York is amazing and it's heated and it feels so good. And it's like the best environment and you get that infrared and it's really amazing when it's cold. And again, it costs money. People say like, oh, it's expensive. Well, so is obesity, so is high blood pressure, cancer, and medical issues. That's all very expensive. So I think that like you need to shift your mindset and you need to say, what can I do? Maybe what can I do less of in my month if I need to budget? Um, Go get a gym membership, make friends who are like-minded and who want to motivate you and or maybe meet up at someone's apartment building if you don't have a space in yours and you can do a group workout together. I think that like just making that extra effort in the winter is so, so worth it. And that's really all it comes down to is like making the choice.
And
And
yeah, making the choice with time too. It's not just about budgeting
yeah,
your money. You had someone ask through your channel, okay, how do I, find time, or how do I work out when I have limited time? Like, you make the time, you shift other things around. We are all so committed to, and this is gonna sound crazy, we are all so committed to like our jobs and people that don't actually care about us, or things that in the long term are not going to benefit us. Take that hour in the morning, arrange your schedule in other areas. Maybe that means changing your job up a little bit, but you've got to focus on yourself, your mental and physical wellness. I mean, I was a surgery resident. I was working over 80 hours a week and I still made time to go to the gym. You just prioritize it. You shift things around. Granted, I didn't have kids then. I wasn't married, like all the things that people are going to find as an excuse. Well, I still work out now and I've got 2 kids, a husband, a full-time job. I'm working in 2 different cities, but it's like, okay, I'm making this a priority. I joined a new gym because I was in that place. I was in that, oh, like I don't really have a good gym. Like my clubhouse gym isn't that amazing. I'm not really getting the workouts that I want. And I was like, you know what? I need to make a change. And I want to have access to a sauna. I want to have access to, classes. I want to be able to go somewhere where I'm going to push myself and be surrounded by other like-minded people who are really into their wellness, because that's going to get me to the next level in all areas of
a
my
hundred
life,
percent.
not just physically. So yeah, you really have to budget not only your finances sometimes to make things like this a priority, but also your time. And it's really about just sitting down and making it happen.
And let me be clear, there's one thing I do want to say too is, and nobody come at me saying, oh, I can't afford it or this, and that, and the other. Candice and I both, we don't come for money. We didn't have anything handed to us. We have both been like super self-made, working hard since day one, like ever, like for as long as I can remember. When I met you, you were like,
Yeah.
in residency or medical school, putting yourself through all of that. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's you can make sacrifices in other areas
Yes. Look at your
if
subscriptions. Like, look at
if you
silly
really want
things.
it.
Yeah. Look at the silly things you're buying every day. Commit to cutting something out to make room for the other things that are going to be a priority and going to actually benefit you in the long run. Like, okay, my example of dry January. Do you know how much money we've saved on alcohol, my husband and I, by not having a drink at dinner when we go out to eat? A lot. So that's paying for
Yeah,
our gym membership, if you want to look at it that way.
it's so true. It's so true. There really is no way to to excuse that. It's really a matter of like, if you want it badly enough, you will find a way.
Exactly. Okay, so do you have any other questions that you want to go over? Because we have to wrap it up. We are going over my studio time. Travis is
Okay,
going to come kick me out.
should we pick one question from one of my Instagram followers?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's see.
By the
Oh,
way,
there's
I'm just going to say some of your followers need to take like a spelling class. I'm like, what are these words? And then I'm like, oh, they misspelled corruption. Like,
Leave them alone.
I know. Listen.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Um, Standing up for my followers. No, I love them all. I honestly like. I've got some funny people. Like some of the things they write, I die laughing.
Oh my God. I've got this rogue follower who loves to mess with me and whatever. I'm not going to call them out because I don't want to give them pleasure. Well, I like this one, the trend of strength training versus Pilates.
Okay, cool. So, God, I don't know if I can answer this in 2 minutes, but everything is a trend, right? Like that's the crazy thing is that you and I have been doing what we do long before Instagram, which is wild to say. But everything does come down to trends, and Pilates is having a moment right now, and the girls want the low impact because everyone wants low cortisol and all these buzzwords, right? That I'm not saying that they aren't true, or obviously like I do things to lower my cortisol, but just when things get thrown around, it creates buzz around things. Now, Pilates is amazing. I got certified years and years ago when I
Yeah,
was
you
like
were like an OG
22.
Pilates instructor, like before
I did my
people were talking about
apparatus.
Pilates. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I was teaching bar. I got certified in Pilates, like very structured classical Pilates. And then my training really shifted because people were coming to me for toning more than anything else. But Pilates is something that I've always had in my toolbox, and it really stems from my ballet background. I danced ballet seriously for many, many years, and ballet really aligns with Pilates. So I kind of mushed all those things together and it makes up my now method. Um, I think Pilates is phenomenal and everybody can benefit from it. Men, women, children, elderly people, middle-aged people. It's incredible. I don't think that you can have one or the other. I think that weight training is just as important, if not more important, because when you're talking bone health and when you're talking getting older and falling in osteoporosis and all the things, you need resistance, you need weights, you need strength for your
You
health,
need
your longevity, but
muscle.
also like you need muscle because you want to burn fat and you want to look hot and you want to feel confident. So it's like you kind of need a way to incorporate both into your life. I mean, if I could choose one over the other, if someone was asking me like which one would you do, I would probably say strength training because it has a lot of benefits. But then again, at the same time, it's like, so does your low impact Pilates workouts and that type of training too, because it's all about the core. It's all about structural alignment and the way that your
Yeah.
body moves and your spine. And so I think basically at the end of the day, you just need to do my workout because you get both.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect plug.
It's a
That was
self
not
plug.
planned.
It wasn't, but like at the end of the day, like that's
Yeah.
why I believe in my method so much because like you get both. And I think that like it's the most, you're talking about efficiency before, and doing something where you're focused so much on form and you need like form is number one in my method, but also like you can't just use 2, 3 pound weights all the time and expect to get toned and fit and the results that you want to get with just that. So I think that um you know I think they're both very important, and but at the end of the day I think that
Trends are real.
you gotta start somewhere, and
We're having a moment on the screen.
trends are real, but also like applaud anyone for trying. Fact is that you're there. You got yourself there.
Okay.
Oh no.
Your
Can you
audio
hear me
was
though?
like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, we got a lot of what you said, but then it like delayed. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
she's
I can hear
here.
you.
I don't know. Maybe somebody called or something. But
Long story short,
long story
just keep moving
short,
your body.
move your
Movement
body.
is medicine.
Movement is medicine. And follow Olivia's method, obviously.
Absolutely.
It's so fun. It sounds like you're in a UFO or something. Okay, so that's the end of this is the end. We're wrapping up series or session 2, episode 2 of my series with Olivia Figueroa. We're
Stay
going to
tuned
do
for
this.
more.
Yes, we're going to do this again so we can get 3 and 4 in. But number 1, we talked really a lot of nutrition and wellness and overall like eating and healthy tips. This was more focused on fitness, lifestyle, like really helping your body to build. So we've got more for you guys, but make sure you're following Olivia's subscription because that's going to give you kind of insights to everything that we talked about. Obviously, you're probably already following me. Sometimes I'll put up tips. Mostly I'll put pictures of my kids. But DM me if you have questions. And I really appreciate everybody who is listening near and far. If you haven't left me a 5-star review yet, please just take like 5 seconds because it pushes my podcast out to other people. And I want more listeners. I want more guests. And we want to just spread the good news. So thank you, Olivia, for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait for the next one.
Yes, we will be back. So everyone have a fabulous day. Stay healthy, stay strong, and I will see you next episode. Bye, everyone.